Cryptid is a slow-paced horror thriller set in a small rural town in New England where a mysterious creature turns the area into a hunting ground. The film opens with a shocking incident. A man's mangled body is discovered under peculiar circumstances, sparking a police investigation and local media intrigue. Max, a seasoned but cynical newspaper reporter known for his boldness, arrives to cover the story. He senses something is amiss, though local authorities initially chalk it up to either a wild animal attack or an accident involving a vehicle. Max teams up with Harriet, his practical photographer partner, who often helps ground his ambitious pursuits. Their investigation leads them to the local medical examiner, who reveals that the wounds on the deceased are atypical, deep and uneven gashes that do not resemble the bite marks of any known animal. This revelation fuels Max's growing theory that a more sinister force is responsible for the man's death. As the suspense heightens, another brutal murder occurs. A woman is found slain in her home, evidence of a violent struggle and forced entry indicating a grave threat to the townspeople. The local residents grow increasingly uneasy, speculating on the possibility of a wild animal or even a serial killer. The sheriff, feeling the pressure from community members and the media, remains doubtful of Max's assertions, yet cannot ignore the harrowing pattern of deaths. Max's investigation forces him to interview various townsfolk who report sightings of something unnatural in the woods: glowing eyes, strange sounds, and swift shadows that defy human movement. He also encounters Dr. Lane, a reclusive biologist who has studied predatory wildlife in the region. Dr. Lane shares unsettling anecdotes regarding unverified animal sightings and shows Max high claw marks on trees that no known animal could reach, leading to the theory of a cryptid, an elusive creature hinted at by folklore but lacking scientific validation. As the killings grow more frequent and savage, authorities find themselves with no clear evidence, no tracks, no eyewitnesses, and no viable suspects. Max and Harriet theorize that the creature may be nocturnal, striking without a trace, possibly representing a prehistoric entity or one mutated by environmental changes, something that shouldn't exist in the modern world. The pursuit of truth takes a personal turn for Max when someone close to him is attacked. Overcome with anger and despair, he becomes fixated on hunting down the creature. Although Harriet urges him to be cautious, Max is determined that exposing the truth is essential to protecting their town and redeeming himself from his past journalistic missteps. In the dead of night, Max and his team venture into the forest armed with maps detailing previous creature attacks. Their flashlights and camera gear barely breach the thick darkness. After a prolonged search, they uncover what seems to be a lair filled with scattered bones, deep claw marks, and a horrifying stench. While Harriet urges an immediate retreat, Max insists on capturing cinematic proof of their findings. Their presence awakens a monstrous creature that is a chilling amalgamation of reptilian and mammalian traits. A frantic chase ensues, with the pair managing to escape, but their footage is mostly damaged, leaving their accounts of the creature's existence in doubt. Back in town, paranoia escalates. Residents barricade themselves in their homes, some arm themselves while others flee in terror. Max implores the sheriff to act, but without substantial evidence, the townspeople remain unconvinced of the lurking danger. Eventually, the creature launches a violent attack at a community bonfire, causing mayhem and confirming the residents' worst fears. Now validated in his claims, Max inspires the sheriff to organize a hunting expedition, gathering local hunters equipped with rifles and traps. Max, Harriet, and Dr. Lane join the group, all determined to uncover the essence of the terror plaguing their home. Equipped with infrared cameras and motion sensors, they venture into the woods as anxiety sets in with the approaching nightfall. The climax unfolds as the creature strikes under cover of darkness, systematically picking off the hunters one by one. In a desperate plan, Max uses Harriet as bait, a decision that infuriates her but proves effective. The sheriff manages to injure the creature with a shot, and as it attempts to escape, Max documents the unfolding events. The creature collapses at a riverbank, and as it dies, Max records its final moments, its strange body, anguished cries, and the realization in its eyes. However, just as victory seems within reach, the body rapidly disintegrates, leaving only faint remnants behind, raising questions about its biology or perhaps a natural defense mechanism. In the aftermath, Max pens a compelling article encompassing their harrowing experience, featuring interviews and partial photographs. While skepticism lingers among some townspeople, others begin to believe. The community slowly patches itself back together, but an unsettling uncertainty remains. Is the creature the only one of its kind? Haunted by events, Harriet departs from journalism while Max undergoes a transformation, becoming introspective. He publishes his account titled "Predator in the Pines: The Cryptid That Came and Vanished." In the final haunting scene, a shadow darts through the woods, suggesting that the nightmare may not yet be over. The movie begins in a desolate area of a small New England town where a terrified man flees an invisible threat, his screams abruptly silenced. The next day, his gruesomely mutilated body is found, but local police are baffled by the unfamiliar nature of his injuries, which seem to defy explanations such as car accidents or animal attacks. Enter Max, a cynical, intuitive newspaper reporter who arrives at the scene uninvited, eager to uncover a hot story. He senses something is amiss and presses the sheriff for information, but the sheriff is reluctant to divulge details due to Max's questionable reputation. Max teams up with Harriet, a pragmatic and skilled photographer who often collaborates with him. Although skeptical of Max's theories, Harriet agrees to assist in the investigation. At the morgue, Max manages to coax some information from the medical examiner, who confirms that the injuries are unlike any caused by local wildlife. The gashes on the victim are unusually wide, deep and patterned, prompting Max to theorize about an unidentified predator. Despite derision from his editor and law enforcement, he becomes increasingly determined to pursue this line of thinking. As their investigation unfolds, another brutal incident occurs. A woman is found dead within her home, the scene marked by destroyed doors, shattered furniture, and significant bloodshed. Fear grips the community, leading to rampant speculation ranging from escaped animals to a possible serial killer. Max, noticing patterns in the locations of the attacks, starts mapping them out to create a perimeter around a specific forested area. In their quest for answers, they consult Dr. Lane, a reclusive biologist with experience in wildlife research in the region. He shares unsettling accounts of strange sightings, unusual tracks, and inexplicable animal behavior. Having photographed claw marks on trees, he expresses concerns about a predatory pattern that diverges from known wildlife like bears or wolves. Despite mounting evidence, the townspeople remain skeptical of any extraordinary threat, a situation that transforms when multiple victims are attacked in broad daylight at a remote cabin. Survivors describe a dark, fast entity with glowing eyes. Panic ensues and roadblocks are established as the sheriff begins to reconsider Max's theories and seeks his unofficial input. Tension escalates with the publication of a sensationalized article by one of Max's newspaper colleagues, triggering public outrage and fear. Although reprimanded, Max persists in his investigation. Meanwhile, Harriet grows increasingly disillusioned with Max's obsession, urging him to reconsider their pursuit before it leads to personal tragedy. In a small town on the edge of a forest, tragedy unfolds when a young boy disappears, prompting a search party led by Max and Harriet. While conducting their own investigation, the pair experiences a harrowing moment when they hear an eerie screech and glimpse a massive unnatural creature vanishing into the underbrush. This encounter solidifies Harriet's belief in the existence of the creature, prompting her to team up with Max in a quest for undeniable evidence of its presence. Equipped with cameras, bait, and sound equipment, the duo ventures into the woods under the cover of night. Hours of tense silence pass until they stumble upon a ghastly clearing filled with animal bones and decaying carcasses, revealing what appears to be a feeding ground for the creature. Nearby, they discover a den sparking both intrigue and fear. Max, driven by curiosity, pushes deeper into the woods while Harriet, gripped by terror, hesitates behind. Suddenly, a noise causes them to panic and flee, narrowly escaping an ambush from the creature, which they only see in part. The description is chilling: a bipedal, grotesque hybrid of reptile and mammal, its body covered in a disturbing blend of blackened fur and scales. Back in town, the urgency to alert the authorities grows. Harriet urges Max to share their findings, but he remains adamant that they need undeniable proof, a clear video or photograph, to convince skeptics. Delving into their theories, Max speculates that the creature is territorial and likely hunts at night, potentially representing the last of its species. Expert Dr. Lane introduces a different perspective, proposing the possibility that the creature is a prehistoric remnant having survived in isolation. The plot thickens when the town organizes an outdoor community bonfire intended to reassure residents during this turbulent time. However, the festive atmosphere quickly transforms into horror when the creature, drawn by the noise and scent of so many people, launches a brutal attack. Panic ensues as the unsuspecting townsfolk are caught off guard. In the ensuing chaos, multiple individuals are killed and the creature makes its presence known to dozens before vanishing once more into the darkness of the forest. This moment becomes a turning point, revealing the true danger lurking in their midst as Max and Harriet find themselves caught in a dire struggle to not only survive but to rally the town to confront the terrifying reality of the beast stalking them from the shadows. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.